reach out, that your skin can bring you so much pain.
All right, this very special interview on the Inside Running podcast is with the new Australian marathon record holder. He's the winner of the 2026 Gold Coast Marathon, where he set a course record as well. Welcome back to the Inside Running podcast and congratulations, Haftu Strintzos.
Thank you, Brady. It's good to be back on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I think about 72 hours ago you crossed the finish line. Tell me how much life has changed in the last 72 hours.
To be honest, not much. It's same routine, could barely walk the next morning, but that's nothing new. It hadn't quite registered for about a day yet. But looking back, I'm quite proud of the performance, and I hope to continue improving. But yeah.
Well, take me back to Sunday. What does it look like post race when you just break the Australian record?
Oh, mate, that was it was sweet. Celebrating rest of the day, it was just I was so relieved to first of all get a good time down on paper. I've been working towards that for a long time, and that was the number one priority, to just get a sub 210 on paper, ideally sub 208, and I'm glad to just have ticked off both of those. And so it was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. So, like, when you say celebrating, is it like a big long lunch, or do you guys hit the nightclubs, or like, is there a lot of alcohol involved? Like, what happened?
Mate, you kind of already know the feeling after a marathon, so I don't really have energy for any of that. But it was a pretty quiet evening. Went out to lunch with my coach to celebrate. It's only right. And afterwards, I think GC Marathon hosted this like a VIP event where I got to meet the old legends of the sport. Steve Monaghetti, Rob Di Casella was there after that amazing talk at the start of the marathon, and Benita Willis was there as well.
Yep.
And Pat Carroll. So it was amazing to just have a chat with those guys and share some experiences.
And then you travel back to Melbourne on the Monday, and it's like straight back into routine, back to the cold weather.
Yeah, I regretted not staying a couple more days in Gold Coast.
Yeah.
It's summer. All of a sudden, it's winter over here.
Yeah. It's been shocking the last couple of days. And then, can we go back to the decision to run Gold Coast in the first place? Like, you made it look super fast on the weekend, but traditionally hasn't been a place where Australians would go to run Australian records.
I am not sure if Gold Coast Marathon changed the course slightly to make it faster, maybe. I don't quite know the history as much in terms of like how the course is organized, but it was a very fast course. It's dead flat. I mean, if you compared to Sydney felt like a very long, hilly cross-country race. That's what it felt like. It was that hard. But compared to Sydney Gold Coast, it's just dead flat. So the potential to even go, I reckon, sub 206 is there. 205, something is there. It's just a matter of showing up and executing on the day, and if the conditions agree as well.
Yeah. So was it locked in a while out? Like, did Adam present it to you as an option, like to stay on Australian soil and not go overseas for this, this next marathon?
Well, my preference is to always do races here, especially when there are like high quality races with the top field, with guys who are significantly better than me on paper. That gives me an opportunity to do much better than I have in the past, and to measure myself up against them. And that's what you need to have in order to be competitive at these big races. But it just seemed like the perfect opportunity. I mean, it is the fastest course in Australia, and if you look at the history of the results, there have been consistent performances around that 207, 208 mark from the Japanese, Kenyans, Ethiopians. So it seemed like just the choice to go with.
Yeah, and I guess the importance of being in a race where you're competitive, like you're racing for the win as well. Like that was a perfect opportunity for you to be there at the Gold Coast and in that lead pack and be able to make the moves in that last. Yeah, I think 30K onwards, you like look super strong.
Yeah, yeah. I was pretty confident coming into it. After Launceston as well, having done a pretty comfortable sub 61 minutes there. So I was pretty confident in my fitness and you know pretty confident that I could do much better than the 211 that I did in Sydney. And it was just a matter of just showing up on the day and getting it done.
Yeah. So with the race, obviously the paces look like they did a great job. Like they were just hovering around 15-minute 5K splits for pretty much, was it 30K? Was that when the last pacer pulled out?
Yeah, Ethan Shuley took us to 32K.
Yeah, okay. So pretty much just past the finish line there, but on the other side of the road.
Yeah, pacemaking was spot on. I mean,
Yeah.
those guys had the credentials to be able to do that as well. 207, 206 guys, you can't have it better than that.
Yeah.
So,
And but then you went to work, like your 30 to 35K split was 14:33. So for listeners at home, we're talking about 254 kilometer pace. That's 202 marathon pace. Like you must have been feeling amazing to put in a surge like that.
not amazing, but good enough to be able to do that. I was I'd done better than I've ever done in the past with the feeling process. And that makes a huge difference when it comes to, just endurance sport in general, but in the marathon it's crucial. You can't really get away with bad fueling. And I picked up every bottle along the way except the 30K mark where I messed up a little bit, but I wasn't worried about that. So, yeah, so executed pretty well. That's what
Yeah.
enabled me to be able to do that.
And then, like, what's going through your head? You take the turnaround, you've dropped the two Japanese runners with you. Did you know what pace you were on for? Like, did you get any feedback? We hear the story of, Jess Stenson at Valencia getting told that she was really close to Australian marathon pace and she had to find a few seconds in the last couple of Ks. Like, did you realize that in those last couple of kilometers?
I had it at the back of my head that we could come close to the record, but at the 30K mark, 32K mark, I still wasn't really thinking about the record. I was just focusing on getting the best out of myself on that day. That's it. Put everything out there. Don't leave anything in the tank. And I discussed with Adam prior to the race, and he said, just make a decision. Don't be like, in between. Either stay with the guys or just go. Yeah, make a decision. So I decided to just go with it and take my chances.
Yeah. So then when you come around that final, I guess it's probably about 1.2, 1.3 kilometers, and you got the big straight before you then take the dog leg into the finish line. You're still just empty in the tank. That's what's going through your head. There's still no thought of that 206.22, the national record from Andy that you want to try to take down.
I realized I could be close with, I reckon, about 4K to go, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere between 4 to 3K to go. I looked at the lead car and it was showing, oh, geez, I was like kind of right on the dot. Just,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I kept looking at my watch and I'm like, I could be close. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. And my goal at that point was not to really just, increase the pace, but to maintain momentum and just, keep the effort going and see how close I can get and just, yeah, keep pushing all the way to the finish line.
Yeah, because that last 2.2, that was at 2:45 pace. Like you, and like, I'm not sure listeners, go out there and see how long you can run at 2:45 pace for, but you really did empty the tank, went to the arms. I'm not sure. Have you looked back at the footage? Have you watched the race over? Like you were flying in that home straight. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I did rewatch that last 5K also a few times. And yeah, I tell you what, I wasn't feeling as good as I was looking. So
How about the camera angle as well from behind? Like you're just watching it, waiting for you to break the tape, and you can see the kind of clock ticking over, but you kind of can't see because it's from the behind you. You couldn't really see how close you're actually getting. So it was, yeah, pretty epic watch.
yeah, you could see me looking at the watch as well,
Hmm.
looking at the time on top of the finish line there. But to be honest, I wasn't sure whether I had it or not when I crossed the line. Just to account for, I don't know, plus
Mm.
minus 1 or 2 seconds uncertainty. So I didn't quite know that I had it until Ben, the GC Marathon official, came over and told me that it is official, that I got the record. So that was pretty sweet.
How long, like, of time passed before they told you that? Like, was that a couple of seconds, or were you waiting for a couple of minutes to get it officially?
No, it was very quick.
Okay, that's
They
good.
came back pretty quick. I would say like a minute maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the footage of you on the, like, you looked really exhausted. Like the fact that you went to the ground straight away, and then you realize you have to stop your watch, and then just seeing all those people embrace you was a pretty special moment.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. But yeah, I left everything out there, which I was quite proud of. It doesn't happen very often in a marathon, but you never, in any race, you don't want to be crossing the finish line thinking you could have given a little bit more. So,
Yeah, well said. Your career as a marathoner, like you debuted at Hamburg and had a DNF because I think you had a knee injury there. Sydney was the 211 and 14th overall in a pretty stacked field. And then not a great day for you at Valencia last year where you stayed out there, but you come in 2 hours and 26 minutes. Um, did your confidence take a hit from some of those performances before you started Gold Coast?
uh, yes and no. Um, you know, when you're starting off, you don't quite have a benchmark to measure yourself against. You're just going off, what experience has been, and you're just trying to set a starting point for yourself. And I've had some people tell me, "Oh, you've had a pretty smooth transition to the roads." No, I haven't. No, that Hamburg attempt, but that was quite heartbreaking. About 10 days out, got injured. But since I was already over there on the other side of the world, I decided to just line up and try my chances anyway. And yeah, the injury just got worse. And I pulled up before halfway at about the 20K mark. So yeah, that was quite heartbreaking. And then after that, Valencia was even more disappointing. Um, I went into Valencia, I was well, I headed over there pretty fit and confident. Had gotten, good blocks of uninterrupted training in, but just the body just didn't pull up very well. And yeah, that that did give my confidence a bit of a hit. But at the same time, I knew it was, a learning process. That a time would come that I would eventually get this right. And I'm glad to have done that at Gold Coast.
Yeah, get it right. You did. And I guess you'd take so much confidence in the preparation going into the race. Like you've been able to look at your numbers, I'm sure, with Adam and the training sessions that you guys are putting out there and makes these times that you're chasing quite achievable.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the months and months of uninterrupted training, which is great, and also I've had some support through the VIS, strength conditioning, and recovery work, which is great to have. Even spent a few weeks up in Adelaide. Got access to the SASI facilities over there, um, and spent a few good weeks of good training blocks that really helped me come back into top shape.
Yeah. So did you have a bit of a break after Valencia, and then has this whole year like really been uninterrupted training block with the Launceston result and now the Gold Coast result in there as well. Obviously, you went to World Cross Country as well, but it's all been going pretty smoothly.
Yeah, body was a bit wrecked after Valencia, really. I thought I had recovered by the time I had to head over to World Cross, but the World Cross performance showed that the body didn't quite recover as well as I hoped it did. And yeah, that result was quite disappointing. I was aiming for, at least an improvement on my previous World Cross result back in Serbia. But yeah, that didn't happen. So I had to take some time off after that and just allow the body to recuperate and get back into routine. But since then, yeah, it's been just building a system, a bit of trial and error, and working with Adam to build a system that works for me in terms of strength conditioning, in terms of getting the mileage done.
Yep. And you mentioned you spent some time in South Australia. How long was that in total? And then the rest of the time you're just doing your solo thing in Melbourne?
Yeah, I spent a couple of weeks over in Adelaide just to get the marathon block of the training done there, to have um, Adam's support on a bike, and also, just to have some company with the TT guys over there, which was great. I really enjoyed that, and they were quite accommodating in many ways, which was amazing, and that helped to just, um, make the preparation more bearable.
Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, the rest is like, do you have anyone on the bike in Victoria when you're training here?
Yeah, I have some Bryce Anderson, my dietitian, who's been doing an
Yep.
amazing job with the feeling process. He's the one that helps me out with that, and which has made a significant difference in my performance. Um, I have Bryce show up on a bike every now and then when I do my training around the Albert Park Lake. Also, Tom from VIS as well. Um, and I have Steph Mandy help me out with the strength conditioning, which is amazing. But yeah, I do get help.
Yeah, yeah. It's still, it's not like a massive training group that we see, or you would have been a part of when you're at Villanova. Like, it's not like you've got 6 or 7 guys sharing the reps, taking one each, and then kind of like just sitting in.
Yeah, it's not quite the same setting. Yeah, I mostly I get most of my mileage done alone, just like during the week, except on like workout days and Tuesdays and Fridays, maybe a Sunday.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the easy mileage, I just get it done on my own. There's good and bad to that. Convenience, but at the same time, you want, I don't know. I suppose someone to be accountable to in the long term.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to get Adam on to like do a real deep dive into your training, but like, can you maybe just give us like a sample week? What did just like a marathon training week look like maybe 5 or 6 weeks out? You kind of said there Tuesday and Friday workouts, but could you take us through like what a Monday to Sunday would look like? I know it's kind of hard to name a normal one because they often change, but what would a standard week, if everything goes to plan, look like?
Um, if Well, the first thing is to just build the aerobic base, and most of that is done through like the easy running. So if we're in that phase, it would just be like, on a Monday morning, you do 60 minutes in the morning, 60 to 70 minutes in the morning, and then 30 to 40 minutes in the afternoon. And I get a bit of leeway with that um, because well, with the training, I try to do things off feeling as well, how the body is feeling, just to monitor how the body is feeling. Because if body says, it's had enough, you would just be digging yourself a hole. So I try to listen to my body, and Adam is great with that as well. He takes a lot of feedback to adjust the training. Um, and yeah, Tuesday will be like a workout, um, depending on what stage in the preparation we're in. It could be like threshold based, or as we're getting to the uh, marathon block, it gets longer and longer. So it could be doing like 3 times 4K with, a couple of minutes of jog recovery in between. And you do that at race pace, 3-minute pace to 255. And we've even done 5K reps as well. So in the marathon block, it gets longer, and we try to mimic like the racing conditions in some of those reps. I even did, in my time in Adelaide, I did a 3x7K, right around that 3-minute pace. With some lactate testing data we got out of that, which was very useful. And then the Wednesday would be a midweek long run, 90 minutes in the morning, and then 30 minutes in the afternoon. The Thursday would be it would ease off a little bit, do 50 minutes in the morning, 50 to 60 minutes, and then 30 minutes in the afternoon. So just ticking off the easy stuff. But I keep it really easy on Thursday in preparation for a key session on a Friday. And the Friday would be, it would change depending on what stage we're in the building phase. But yeah, similar kind of intensity sessions to Tuesday. And then Saturday is my rest day. So I get that completely off. I try to just get my head off everything, not think about running, just occupy myself with something else, whatever it is. And yeah, I don't run on Saturdays, completely off. That's
Never
just
run Saturdays.
I don't run on Saturdays. If I feel like running, I might go for like a 30-minute jog, or even a 20-minute jog, or just go for a walk.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's I've found has been important for me to allow my body to recover from the mileage during the week, and also to prepare me for Sunday, because Sunday is, long run is critical for marathon runners, and that gives my body time to recover, and also just yeah, making sure the body doesn't break down from all the training that you're doing during the week. Yeah, and then Sunday is a big day, usually early mornings, and then yeah, it would be anywhere between 34 to 38K of running. And the intensity of that will depend on what phase we're in, but I usually do it just at easy pace, anywhere between 355 to, say, I start really slow. I start almost walking pace when I start my Sunday long run, so even 5-minute pace, and then by the end it will get down to 355 or 350. Or depending on how the body is feeling, I might even keep it easier, like 4-minute pace or 410. It just depends. But yeah, and then when it comes to like building in preparation for races, then as we get closer, the Sunday long runs will have some intensity work in between. Could be doing like, I think like 2K reps or 3K reps, and then we get going again. And that kind of mimics, that really tests your fitness, whether you're ready for these kinds of races or not.
Yeah. So that would come out at like, what, 170 to 180 kind of K weeks? Do you track that, or just do what's in your program?
Yeah, yes, usually between 180 to 190. So
Okay.
yeah, which is pretty low on mileage if you compare it to some of these world-class runners.
With a day off though, like if you ran on Saturdays, that'd be an extra 25K, and all of a sudden you're at 210 pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure doing a 25K run on a Saturday is a good idea.
Yeah, but split over 2 runs, 70 minutes in the
Yeah,
morning, 35 minutes in the afternoon. But that's if you're chasing Ks though. But you've proven that having that Saturdays off is important for you, and you can bounce back and you can run Australian records. So why change it?
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it depends on how the body copes. But Adam and I have built this program, taking back and forth, but you can't. If you try to give the body more than it can tolerate, then it just breaks down. So, but we're trying to do that sustainably. I think the mileage will continue to go up. It probably has to do even better. Um, and yeah, but it has to be done in a way that's sustainable. So yeah,
Oh, that's good. Hey, we asked our Patreon supporters if they had any questions for you. They're the most knowledgeable listeners in Australian distance running here. Have to. So I've selected 5 or 6. Thank you to all the people that sent them in. Do you mind if I fire a couple of these at you as a bit of a quick fire?
sure.
Okay, this one comes from Toby. Toby's based down in Geelong. What's the biggest lesson he learned from a race that didn't go to plan? And what's a non-negotiable recovery habit he has?
The biggest race. Oh, okay. Yeah, the biggest lesson I learned was probably from Valencia. If the body's not right, man, oh, geez, you gotta do a lot to just keep healthy. If the body isn't right, the marathon can be quite unforgiving. Yeah, so when you go into races, I'm sorry if that comes across as, um, as harsh or whatever, but that's the reality out there. Yeah, if the body isn't right, the marathon is quite unforgiving. And I learned that the hard way. But of course, I also learned about injury prevention. You don't have to know everything, and I had never been injured prior to Hamburg, and I thought, I don't have to worry. I've never had any serious injuries, but then I got injured. So injury prevention, those 2 lessons are what I learned. And sorry, what was the second
Yeah,
part of it?
a non-negotiable recovery habit you have.
Sleep.
Sleep. How many hours a
Sleep.
night you talking?
I try to sleep at least 8 hours a night. But yeah, of all the recovery things that athletes do, sleep is always number one. Quality
Yeah.
sleep, please. And I've struggled with that, but I'm trying to be better. Um, yeah.
Yeah. This next one comes from Annie. She says, congratulations, legend. What in your training block was your favorite and hardest session in this marathon build-up?
Thank you, Annie. And I I like the longer sessions. Um, I'm getting used to them now because it really tells you whether you're fit enough, or it gives you feedback as to like at what point your body is in, Yes, you have your program. Yes, you hope to be you have you hope to be this to have this amount of fitness by that point, in the weeks building up to a race. But at the end of the day, the longer races, the longer sessions in training, um, they either give you a bit of confidence or they tell you, okay, maybe you need to do a little bit more, or allow a bit more recovery, or tweak something to enable you to do better.
Yeah. This next one comes from Jacinta. If she followed you around for a week, have to, what would surprise her the most about your life as an elite distance runner? Tell us more about the Saturdays. I want to know what happens on a Saturday when you're not running. What do you occupy your time with?
Mate, yeah, that's a tough question. It'd be pretty boring. Uh,
Jacinta would get bored
Saturday,
for the
I call
week.
Saturday my lazy day. My
Good.
lazy day. I don't do anything at all. I sleep in. It's like not much happens. I'm not the kind of person that loves to go out on weekends, and I really can't afford to do that. Um, on occasion, I like to celebrate, where celebration is deserved, but that's a tough one. I'm not sure if there's a right answer to that one. But yeah,
Would
Saturdays, not
she?
much
Yeah.
happens.
Would she be surprised at how like routine and mundane and like it's you get the work done, you recover. You get the work done, you recover.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that's probably the best response there. It is pretty mundane, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously, when you're running Australian records. Yep. Scott asks, could we potentially see a permanent move for you from Melbourne to Adelaide to be with Team Tempo all the time?
Uh, I'm sure some of the people at TT would love that. Um, yeah, that's all they were talking about. Well, I mean Isaac, sorry, Isaac Hayne, who came to train with me for a few weeks here, unfortunately was injured by the time he got back to Adelaide. He was supposed to be, debuting in Gold Coast, so we were training together. But yeah, he's been telling me he's trying to do all these things, trying to set me up for Adelaide. Say, hey, Adelaide's got great spots, great company here, great running spots. But I don't think at the moment I don't plan on moving to Adelaide, but you never know. Things could change. But I'm open to going back and forth to do training.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart idea. A couple of, 3-week blocks here or there, then get out of there, back to
Y-
Melbourne,
Yeah,
be with your
home is
family.
Melbourne.
Yeah,
Home is here. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Zach, he asked, he had a great run on the weekend. I think he ran 67 minutes in the half marathon, but he wants to know about what your fueling was on race day. And then did you have any supplements like a Nomeo or bicarb or any nitrates for the race as well?
Uh, I go with Morton. Um, I've always used Morton, and I'm grateful to get some free product from them as well. Um, but yeah, it just my body copes pretty well with it. So, but yeah, like I mentioned before, you really can't get away with a bad feeling process in a marathon. You pay for it if you do that. And I'm fortunate to have my dietitian Bryce Anderson helping me out with that as well. But yeah, I knew one of the reasons I was pretty confident going into Gold Coast was uh, because I'd done much better with the fueling. We've tried to like mimic race conditions in um, training as well with the fueling. It's like just like any other kind of training. You have to train the body and the gut to be able to tolerate that ingesting that amount of carbohydrates, and also to be able to process it in race while you're racing.
Mm.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah. So no other supplements, like not the Nomeos or the bicarbs or beetroot
No,
shots, any of that
no.
stuff? No, just high on the Morton. Get the carbs in so you got the energy to finish.
Yeah, carbs are, you don't, I don't, I'm not sure if bicarbs has been, um, I guess this could be due to my limited knowledge, but I'm not sure if it's been proven to be effective in the longer distances. I
Mm.
know a lot of the middle distance guys use it, and it seems to be working for them to buffer, what is it, to buffer lactate. I really haven't looked into this very much, but I don't want to make any like misinformed statements about it.
No, that's
Um,
Bryce's job anyway. Bryce tells you what to have.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Bryce is he's open to ideas, but at the same time we try to stick with what we know works.
Yeah. These next two, they're from Megan and Jeremy, and they're kind of got similar vibes. So, does he have someone that he looks up to as a role model, or is there a particular person that has played a part in enabling him to achieve this amazing results? And then Jeremy's like, I'd love to hear about the people who have played the biggest role in helping you to build your courage and self belief. Is it from family, coaches, mentors, or running heroes, or does it just come naturally?
Well, my mother has shaped the person I am today, in a lot of ways. So the my character, I would say I get it from her, um, and from like in terms of like taking inspiration from like from sports perspective, I take inspiration from a lot of athletes. I I take inspiration from some of the guys who are still running. Stuart McSwain is great. Pat Tiernan, of course, he went to Villanova. Um, and my college days, and when I was, training here in high school, before I went to college, you know, um, I knew that Pat Tien and Geordie Williams and Sam McKenty, they were at Villanova. They were part of the decision that I made to go to Villanova as well. But there's a lot of athletes that I take inspiration from over the years. The Ethiopian distance runners, the Kili, Haile Selassie, even Craig Mottram, um, Mo Farah over the years. So I try to take inspiration from a lot of athletes and
Mm.
learn from them, not only from their success, also from their failures. What they learned along the way, the hard learned lessons.
Hey, we need to give your mum Maria a shout out. She had a big day Sunday on the social media. Like, I don't think there was any post about you that she did not comment about how proud she was. I know Sam Hopper took a video at the finish line and sent it to us that we put on our like Instagram and Facebook, and that it went like viral. It got like 155,000 views. And there was the nicest, like, proudest message from your mum on there that I pinned to the top. And I'm like, as a parent myself, I cannot even imagine how proud she is of what you've achieved. It would have been a very special hug, I'm sure, when you saw her for the first time post race.
Yeah, it was. She's very proud, and yeah, I wouldn't be here without mum, quite literally, actually.
Mm.
um, um, and yeah, super grateful. She's been my biggest fan, and I also have, my uncle George, who's been taking me to races since high school days. Even joined me to shows up some of the races, and I have like a great family that have been really supportive, um, in well, in my whole running journey, really.
Yeah, well said. And the final ones have to. People always love asking what's next, even though you've just run a marathon 72 hours ago. But do we see you go back to the track at all, or is it road race and Haftu Strintzos from here on in?
Um, I'm I'm open to, we haven't yet discussed with my agent and coach Adam, but we're trying to figure out the rest of the racing calendar. But in the meantime, I'm not. I'm open to like anything that can help me to perform better as an athlete. But my ultimate goal is to be competitive at the world stage, at the global stage, at the major marathons. And I think later this year, I'm hoping Australia sends the team over to World Road Running Champs in Copenhagen. I think they've got the half marathon there, which I've applied for, and yeah, that could be an opportunity for a sub 1 hour performance, sub 60-minute performance in the half, assuming all things go well. And yeah, but besides that, that's what's coming up next. But besides that, we really haven't planned anything past Gold Coast in terms of marathon racing. But yeah, who knows? I might be showing up to track meets, to do 10Ks or 5Ks, or to get some of my speed. Bit of turnover, you never know.
Yeah, well, I think you've made your agent's job a bit easier to get into global marathons now, being a 206 guy instead of a 211 guy, national record holder. Makes their job. Hope they're working the phones. They got some big things they can do with you now with those things next to your name. So once again, congratulations on it all. Thanks for answering our questions. And yeah, I know our listeners can't wait to see what you do in the future. Have to.
Thank you very much, Brady. Thank you for having me on.
Who'd have Doesn't matter if